Welcome to Sideline Theory. My name is Brandon Cheatham, here with Michael Lane. Back in the basement.
Semi-professional opinions.
From unprofessional distances.
Still in the basement. It's we're coming out of the national championship game, actually. Brandon was right, everyone. Not by 30, though.
It's because they couldn't hit a three.
Yeah.
There was a lid on the bucket on the one side of the court.
Yeah, that one side was rough.
I did think that was going to I thought that was going to get hairy late. It was.
What percentage did your bracket end up?
94.7. Yeah.
I was 71.
I'm elite. I picked, going back and looking at the bracket, just like, where'd I really mess up? I picked a Cinderella run that didn't happen at all. That Miami of Ohio team. I had them getting to like the Elite Eight. Yeah. So that tanked the competitiveness of the bracket.
Well, college basketball was fun, man.
But yeah, it's nice to be right.
It's April. I'm going to Disney World on anniversary next weekend.
Ooh.
It's going to be fun. So we thought, let's hit our mock draft for the NFL draft. Do you like that the draft is no longer just in New York? Do you like that it's moving around, that's in Pittsburgh this year?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, I do like the allure of New York City, but only because you could end up in a place like Pittsburgh as a draftee.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm good either way. I do kind of like the cool, like the you know exactly where we're gonna be. You're going there, but
when's it coming to Atlanta, bro? We gonna go
to Atlanta?
Do a live
as long as we have a first round pick. We'll podcast that all day as long as the Rams aren't picking for us.
Ooh. With that being said, I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, so we're going to jump into a mock draft, our first rendition. I don't know if we'll get to a second before we actually see the picks revealed. So just want to confirm one thing, so we're not getting a ton of hate on our video on
it's
YouTube.
Gonna happen regardless.
Because now we're Spotify and YouTube.
And I'm wearing a Jets hat, so I'm going to get mad hate. J-E-T-S,
He's a big
Jets.
Big Aaron Glenn guy. So,
oh gosh,
our mock draft, just to set this up and give you the criteria, we are drafting as if we were the GM or the shot caller of each franchise.
We're not predicting.
We are not predicting picks. We are taking picks that we would take in those seats, depending on who's available on the board.
So when every Miami player is drafted.
Yep, 1 through 6, all Miami. Don't hate us. But on a serious note, we'll go ahead and kick it off, and we're going to run through these draft picks, give you some stats from last year, an NFL comp, and then just our overall thoughts on each player as their picks.
It's going to be a two-parter, right?
It'll be a two-part episode.
1 through 16.
So you guys aren't sitting there for an hour. We'll go 1 through 16, and then we'll do the back half on a second episode, but release those episodes at the same time so you guys have access to all. All right, so jumping into it, our first pick.
Dun, 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 dun.
To your Las Vegas Raiders, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana.
Tom Brady. Oh,
he's going to be the starter this year because they brought him out of retirement.
Oh, you're right.
No April Fools. So,
Mendoza,
quarterback. Yep, 6'5", 236, coming off a year third for 3,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 6 picks, 90 quarterback rating. The NFL comp I have here, I told Mike before the podcast, all my comps are current guys except for a couple.
Kirk Cousins.
Matt Ryan is the NFL comp.
That's so funny.
Which Mike actually guessed unknowingly.
Did I say Mendoza's Matt Ryan?
When I said you're not going to be happy with these comps, and you said, what, you do Mendoza as Matt Ryan? So,
that's crazy.
So that's the comp. But I just want to get your initial thoughts on Mendoza.
I think that the Raiders are heading in a good direction. I listen to a lot of national analysts, especially someone named Colin Cowherd, who's like in love with this man, saying like, I've never bought a professional jersey, but I'm going to buy Mendoza's. I'm not all the way there with him. My thing is he runs a great RPO, and he throws the best back shoulder ball I've seen since prime Aaron Rodgers. The issue is he's going to an offensive system where I think 90+% of Kubiak's plays were under center or something. There's a crazy stat of he likes his quarterback being under center. And Mendoza had like 5 total snaps under center all of last year. something crazy like that. And so I do think it might be a mix of systems. I do think I've seen quarterbacks be able to make that transition. I'm sure that he was under center a little bit more in high school and obviously younger years playing football. Yeah. And so I think it's going to be a solid move and draft, even though, again, we're not predicting, but even if we were, we would take Mendoza. I think that I'm curious to see his development of throwing the ball over the middle, being able to read defenses.
And a quick aside there, Kirk Cousins signed.
Yeah.
Pretty hefty deal. I mean, I know it's really a 1-year deal with like prove it incentives. What do you think that means? Are they going to sit this guy the whole season?
I know. So the Kirk deal came out like $50+ million. The deal is like a 1-year, $20 million with like an option the next year if he's good. I think that he plays 6 games at the most. I think Mendoza can even win that job in the spring. And so in the summer going into the fall. So I don't think that they really have anything there to worry about. I do love, again, that they signed Tyler Linderbaum. I'm curious to see what they do with your boy Max Crosby. And so I like the pick of Mendoza there. I think that they're trying to build a culture. Tom Brady saw him play in the national championship game. For everything he was, the man took a beating in the national championship game and delivered when he had to.
Yeah, I think so. So to bring this to my side, I think big frame, elite toughness, high accuracy, heart of a champion winner. Those are my notes. I think so much of the NFL is infatuation with measurables and athleticism and a lot of the things that I think matter for, especially for a quarterback, are the more intangible soft skills, if you will. And outside of him being quirky, he has everything else in place. You know, see how that translates to an NFL locker room, not sure. But a guy like Tom Brady, who was not a guy that all the measurables jumped off the screen at you, but you have, you know, the resilience, the toughness, the heart of a champion, as opposed to some of these other guys that have been top 5 picks that they're just the best athletes, they're the flashiest pick, but there is something to the fact of how you approach it and the mentality. So I like the pick there, and like you said,
my biggest thing is I am curious to see how his route tree is. From my experience watching the Penn State final drive, the Alabama, they just annihilated. But Miami, when it mattered, it was back shoulders. And again, you can make the case of like that might be all you need. But I just didn't see him consistently make throws that were maybe taken away from him and not his bread and butter. So I am curious to see how his arm translates going into the NFL. So
yeah, and I think you and I are similar places with him, where I'm not super sold on like the highest ceiling at least at this point. And to your point, right, he did this at Indiana where his guys were pretty dominant, separating, getting open. The Raiders, I mean, we'll see who they put out there at receiver. But that's what we got first overall, Mendoza to the Raiders. Our next pick here, the New York Jets. You got the hat on.
Yes, sir.
And the pick here is Ruben Bain Jr. from the U. 6'3", 270 edge, coming off a season with 31 tackles, 6 TFLs, 3 sacks. NFL comp, this is the only other one I think that's not a current guy, Dwight Freeney. Big Ruben Bain guy, big Miami guy. Just my initial thoughts, right? Obviously, we've got the stigma of the short arms. He's a smaller type build, not your prototypical edge in the NFL. But he plays with great effort, plays with great leverage. He's an alpha on the defense. He's the anchor of the defensive line. He seems to be the personality of the defensive line at Miami, although there's going to be, you know, potentially another first-round edge in the draft from that defense. And I think he's going to have the ability to play inside some and get some pass rush on the interior offensive line at the NFL level. That versatility alone is beneficial. And if you're the Jets, you just need to compile as many guys with as much upside as possible. But I think this one gives you a little bit of safety because Ruben Bain is a more polished prospect than some of the other edges projected to go here. And he's older. So those are my thoughts on Ruben Bain and why we agreed we'd take him at 2 in New York.
We agreed we'd take him at 2, but it was Brandon's pick. Like, again, this is both of our thoughts really condensing and give and take. I personally am not in love with taking a defensive end 2, except for when you have your quarterback in play. I think the best example of this is when Houston took C.J. Stroud and then traded back up to get Will Anderson. The Jets taking Ruben, I think that's a good call, but I don't know how successful it's going to be for them. However, I am hearing at least that they're looking to target a quarterback in the next year draft. So if they take Ruben, they go 1-16, fire Aaron Glenn, and I mean just start over. It is. I think Bain is it's just. It just stinks when like you have Sauce Gardner, who's good, but you gotta get traded. You have
That's fair.
dudes along the D line. You had
Quinnen
Jamal
Williams.
Adams, Quinnen Williams, but like you just got to get rid of them because you're not able to win. So it is Ruben's a great pick, just like how we're talking about Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. For these defensive players who are like generational, it does matter where it stinks. Their success is putting them in a position where the winning is not going to come. And it's not like the NBA. NBA, there's 5 people per team on the court. There's 10 people. So if you're just so dominant that you're him, like you're able to take over. This is
or even at an offensive skill position.
Exactly.
You have more to say about outcomes of games. Whereas we can all point to edges, Myles Garrett specifically, where you're the best in the league by far, and it still doesn't equate to wins.
So it's fun. I also, as a Miami guy through and through, listening to Miami Insider Pods today, as someone who watched him closely, I question a little bit of his motor. I'm not super sold on the motor. I think that there are plays and just sequences where I'm like, where is Ruben? Like, what is he like? We need him to show up. So I'm thinking SMU, Louisville in the clutch. It's like different moments where I'm like, Indiana, for everything that's worth, kind of shut him down in the national championship game. So big Miami guy, but I'm not as sold on him as generational. So
yeah,
that's a good pick, but
yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously there's a lot of production to go around. I do think he had 2 of his not greatest games, the last 2 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that felt almost like the media overhyped the expectation of that. But to your point, there were some guys that outproduced him on the defense. Again, some of the soft skills, the mentality, the approach, really like that for Ruben Bain there. Next pick, number 3, we've got the Arizona Cardinals selecting Arvell Reese out of Ohio State, 6'4", 241 edge, coming off a season with 69 tackles, 10 TFL, 6.5 sacks, and 2 pass breakups. NFL comp here that I've selected is Will Anderson. They're the same exact size. I think that's a generous comp based on how Will Anderson's performed in the NFL. I know you and I are not huge Arvell Reese guys, but this is the prototypical NFL selection of a guy who's big, fast, strong, quick, has all the potential in the world, some of the skills as well already, but there are some things that need to be polished. A couple of my initial thoughts here. To your point about Bain, like in the big games that I watched with Ohio State, this guy, I just seem to not hear his name. And he looks a little lost in coverage. I know that's not really what he's projected to be doing in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be doing a lot of coverage.
So hopefully whoever selects him, in our mock with the Cardinals where we would take him, hopefully they're putting his hand in the dirt and letting him go. So
yeah, the Cardinals, they took Isaiah Simmons from Clemson a couple of years back. It didn't really work out. He was supposed to be this Arvell Reese type of guy as well. Again, for these defensive ends specifically, it does matter where you land. So he's going to Arizona. They have a new coach, the LaFleur brother, and so a lot of it's going to depend on what they end up doing at quarterback. Do they trade up, get Ty Simpson later in the draft, which who knows with that? Do they take a Carson Beck in the 3rd round, something to that effect? And so I think Arvell is a solid choice here. It's just, again, when you take the defensive players super early in the draft, it is just tough to equate to winning. You can almost make an argument that the O-linemen should go above them, but these guys are so talented, it is hard to pass up on them. My head is just such a I care about winning so much
yeah.
that Bain and Arvell aren't going to. They're not bumping the over under for these teams.
That's fair, but in defense of these franchises, like even winning substantially more games is not, you're not even in the playoff run.
Yeah.
So these, like, from an ownership standpoint, it's like, hey, let's maybe draft a guy with a higher ceiling. If he becomes what he becomes, awesome. If he doesn't, we're no worse for it, because to your point, they're not really going to affect the wins. The last thing that I'll call out about Arvell Reese translates to all the Ohio State guys, but Matt Patricia calling the defense there, it depends how simplified he got because it is college, but I think there is a little bit of an advantage that you potentially got an NFL type defense called around you, and maybe you're already functioning in it.
No, that's a great point.
So like that pick for the Cardinals, Arvell Reese at 3. Number 4, the Titans. We have them selecting Francis CC Mauigoa from Miami, 6'5", 329, offensive tackle. The NFL comp here I have is Andrew Thomas, current Giant, allowed the 3rd lowest pressure rate in the league last year. There is some talk about the fact that you could bump him in. I know he was questioned about that at the combine. He's like, hey, I don't really care. Whatever one of the 5 spots is, I'm coming to get one of those. Because of how good he is at tackle, I think it could make him the next tiering of an inside guy if that happens. Not so much that he can't play on the edge, but elite balance and hand placement, great push off the ball, very calm. And then my favorite part, which is in pass protection, when he's uncovered or he's sliding and he's open, he is looking for work. And if you're a guy that's engaged with another offensive lineman and Mauigoa is next to you, your ribs are not going to feel good, and he's coming to clean it up. As evidence, even in the Carson Beck run to get to the national championship game, where he's head on a swivel, peeling back to get some contact on a guy to open up that run for the touchdown. So we've got the Titans selecting him at number 4.
Love that pick, Stallworth. A lot of people have Jeremiah Love comped to them. I think that's an awful pick. I think the Raiders proved it's awful with Ashton Genty last year pretty early. Ashton Genty, to me, is not terrible, but the infrastructure around him doesn't support taking a running back that high. So I really do love, if the Titans go offensive line here, please, 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 for Cam Ward's development and his safety. Offensive production will come. That's why you draft him number 1 overall, the quarterback. Protection will bring production. Production won't bring protection. And so you need the protection. Please, Tennessee, draft offensive line for my man. Please protect him. I love it. Love CC there.
Yeah, I don't think you can't go wrong with that pick at any level. But yeah, we'll see if they take the bait and go running back at 4. The next pick we have on the mock here is the New York Giants.
Selecting Hercules himself.
This is an incredible selection, considering how much you love both of these. New York Giants take Sonny Styles at 5 overall out of Ohio State, 6'5", 244-pound linebacker.
I'll just jump. I don't hate Sonny going here because I do think that there is offensive infrastructure in place already, like Andrew Thomas. I like Jackson showed promise. I do think they could go offensive line here as well to help. Again, production will come as long as Jackson is protected. If he's not protected, he's not going to give you the production that you're wanting. And so I can see them going offensive line here. But all that being said, I'm hearing they could take Carnell Tate, or it's like, dude, you have Malik. You have Jackson was putting up numbers without any of them. And so you want Sonny is not going to have to carry the load in this position. He has Harbaugh there who can provide some support and just matureness in the building. And so I do think Sonny going here helps. It doesn't help, though, that they're I think is it Leonard Williams is asking out from them right now. And so we'll see what goes on with that. Having Leonard, a big body in front of you. Again, we've talked about Sonny on this podcast of his size maybe being an issue in the NFL with –
I think it's Dexter Lawrence.
It might be Dexter Lawrence. I think it is Dexter.
Sexy Dexy is his self-proclaimed nickname.
And so I like Sonny here. I think it's a solid pick for the Giants. Some people were saying go offense. I also, when we get down to it, we were going a lot of just like, do we think offense or defense? I really think the Giants can favor going defense here.
Yeah, I mean, especially you got Jackson Dart back. Scattaboo, is not a world beater, but he'll be back.
It's like
Neighbors will be back.
yes.
So you start to think, okay, maybe we've got the pieces at least to figure it out on offense, defense. This is a guy that's, does have elite athleticism, can match coverage with tight ends or even slots in some cases. Not a super violent person from what I've seen on film, so I don't love that. But all of the traits are there, like we mentioned throughout the combine. And then I think definitely a tone setter with leadership. He seemed to be the guy on the Ohio State defense kind of leading the
Who's
charge.
your comp?
NFL comp. This one was tough, but I'm
because he's
leaning
like
into the
99%
athleticism. Kyle Hamilton.
Okay. Even though obviously he's a linebacker.
Correct.
He's much thicker
It's
than
more
Kyle,
traits. Right? Yeah, he's thicker. It's more trait-based.
Which obviously Kyle works well with Harbaugh's old system. Again,
Yeah.
I like Sonny here. I think people having Sonny going to, again, the Jets and the Cardinals, whoever ends up going to the Jets and the Cardinals 2-3, I am just sorry for you. And this, like, it stinks to be that good in football. Again, if this was 5-on-5 basketball, it's different. Yeah. It just stinks for the top defensive guys to go to the Jets and Cardinals.
All right, next pick up, number 6, we've got Cleveland.
Your Cleveland Browns.
My Cleveland Browns.
So go ahead, man. Solve the
selecting
issues.
Spencer Fano from Utah, 6'6", 311, offensive tackle. We've got 2025 stats. Gave up only 8 pressures, 1 sack, and had a PFF grade of 85. NFL comp Rashawn Slater. Elite hand placement, very smooth when he's kick sliding. Huge guy to do that. I think we'll have not a very hard time at all with any speed rush guys. And I think a pretty safe floor for this pick.
Yeah, again, protection. And so Cleveland being able to add an offensive lineman into their rotation. They've had great offensive linemen come through that program, even though it's been mediocre for most of our lives. But being able to do another year of I just think watching Shedeur this past year, I'm not sold he can't do it. I'm not sold he can't. I think that also a lot of just life in general is confidence. And I don't think Shedeur lacks any confidence at all. And so being able to provide protection for him, they got your guy Todd Monken in there. And so I think the production will come with scheme and talent. And so just protect him. We're both pretty high, and I love that we had Devontae on. I love Devontae bringing up Judkins. Judkins was great last year.
Yeah.
And so pour resources into your offensive line. Seattle just won the Super Bowl. Everyone's like, oh, they're all going to go on a dynastic run. Brandon and I both are a little hesitant on that, which is understandable because all the reasons. But the last 4 drafts, their offensive line is built off of the drafts. The team just won the Super Bowl. So draft offensive line, get those key players in those key positions early at the top of this draft.
Yeah, completely agree.
And you got Cleveland going to the AFC Championship game, right?
I said win the division, Mike. Slow down. We'll see. Doesn't lack confidence.
The 1 seed, right? I mean,
yeah,
they can win the division.
The 1 seed from their division. So next pick we have on the board here is number 7, the Washington Commanders selecting
the football
Jeremiah
team.
Love
Ooh.
out of Notre Dame, 6 foot, 214-pound running back, coming off a year in 2025.
I think
rushing yards,
this is going to be the
touchdowns.
Team that people are the most down on because of the injuries that were just so prevalent. They were an old team, and so I like them. They had like Austin Eckler, like Brian Robinson, the Alabama running back. And so I think them being able to pair Jeremiah with Jaden is going to be pretty prolific. It's going to provide support for Jaden. It's Jaden Daniels, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why my head's just saying Jalen. It's going to provide support for Jaden, gosh, now I'm messing it up. Jaden and Jeremiah. I just think it's a solid backfield. I am curious of them letting Kingsbury go. Again, because 2 years ago they went on the NFC Championship game run.
Yeah.
Everyone was in love with them. I keep receipts. Colin Cowherd. I remember this man talking about, oh, Washington's amazing. They're going to be so good for so many. And then they had a bad year, and now everybody's off of them.
Yeah.
And so I could see defense here as well, just because they had a very old Bobby Wagner. Like, they're older on that side of the ball. But I do think Dan Quinn and his scheme can help make up for those deficiencies. Just don't be up 28-3 in the Super Bowl, or I'm gonna be nervous. And so, going offense here, I think is a great move.
That was a pretty low blow, and I'm quite frankly, I'm upset that you referenced that. But I'm in
Well, that's
full
like the
agreement.
only Falcons
Dunking up
reference because they
28-3.
don't have a pick. So.
NFL comp I have is Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, this guy's elite pretty much in
I think
every
he's bigger
aspect.
than Gibbs,
Yeah,
though.
he is. He is bigger. I agree. Jaden Daniels in this combo
Honestly, bro, he could be
pretty
LT.
prevalent. Man, he's just from Notre Dame, so I can't say that. But the
Best touchdown
key-
celebration, by the way.
The key to me will be Washington finishing third in the division for another year. They fire whoever the coordinator is, and then they hire Lincoln Riley, who also will be fired after this college football season, to bring this offense full circle with Jaden Daniels, Jeremiah Love, and potentially the first overall pick, Jeremiah Smith.
We'll talk Lincoln Riley another episode. Don't worry.
All right, so moving on to pick number 8, New Orleans.
Nolans.
And again, this is we're not projecting what the teams will actually do, just what we would do with the people available. We've got David Bailey out of Texas Tech, 6'4", 250-pound edge. Pretty incredible stats in 2025, Mike. 14.5 sacks, 19.5 TFLs, and 38 pressures.
If you watched Texas Tech Oregon, it helped inform you on how Oregon. And again, I don't think anyone thought the homie would throw a pick 6 on the first play against Indiana, but the defense was not an issue for Texas Tech this past year. David Bailey played tremendous along the defensive front. Rodriguez, the linebacker, whoever picks him up in the second or third round is getting a great, just a playmaker there. But David, with New Orleans, they got Etienne. They signed him for running backs, and they got Shuck. I believe they took an offensive lineman last draft. I might be wrong here. New Orleans Saints fans, let me know. But then again, they have Brandon's guy, Chris Olave. And so I think the offense is set with Kellen Moore calling the plays. So pour resources into the other side of the ball. It is a winnable division. Sorry, Brandon. But I really do like them going solid edge rusher here if he's available.
Yeah.
I think it's a tremendous pick for them
Yeah,
in a super winnable division.
Unfortunately for the Falcons, you are right. This is a very winnable division, and they've got a quarterback, and we have yet to figure out what we're doing there. What I will say is, to your point, they've got similar to some of the other teams we've mentioned, they've got a lot of the pieces on the offensive side. Their defense, though, their key defensive players are old, very old. So they've got to replenish with some youth and try to get them in the door before those guys are out. You know, guys like Cameron Jordan, before they're done playing, so that they can mentor and tricks of the trade and learn how to beat the Falcons. Never, hopefully.
Yeah, we both love
NFL comp Brian Burns.
Okay, yeah.
Next selection off the board, we have Kansas City.
The dynasty.
Taking Caleb Downs out of Ohio State, 6 foot, 205-pound safety. Coming off a year, he had 68 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions.
You already gave you the comp, so.
I don't even want to say this out loud because this guy never really turned into what I thought he could. But man, I'm going to say it: Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Okay, I think Minka's a little lankier.
Yeah.
Minkah to me is a lot more like free safety. I'm thinking he is Deion Branch for the Lions. Just a solid playmaker. I also like Caleb is going to be a better version of Antonio Winfield Jr. for the Bucks. And Antonio Winfield is great. He gave Tyreek the peace sign in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And so I just Caleb is a playmaker, and you put him in the system with Spags in that culture, he's going to fit that Kansas City culture perfectly because he's a solid dude, wants to win, instinctive. I think that this is a slam dunk for them. People have them maybe going offense, or a lot of people have them going cornerback. I don't understand it. Why? I get it because you traded your corners away. But what you're saying is, hey, I don't need a top corner. That's why I'm getting rid of them. I can develop lesser guys. And they have a second pick in the round, I would not touch corner at number 9. You get the best available player in Caleb Downs.
Yeah, I mean, with a guy like Caleb Downs in the defensive backfield, I think it allows you to take a lesser guy at corner and develop
100%.
him, give you some more time to figure that out. The success of the Chiefs on defense has never began with the cornerback position. It's always began up front, similar to any team that's ever won it all. And I think this is a perfect example. You and I talked in the past about there are certain picks that are luxury picks. You know, a top 5 running back, a top 10 safety. These are luxury picks that you shouldn't really be taking if you're consistently in the top 5 or 10 based on being awful. Kansas City coming off of a very weird season where they lost a ton of games real close. Mahomes gets hurt, puts them in a unique position to take a guy that is a luxury at a position that's a premium if you're really good. And I'm excited to see the instinctual. I think both of us can agree his instincts are second to none.
They signed Kenneth Walker. They have Andy Reid. They brought back Bieniemy. Give Spags even more. Hold people to 20 or less. They're right back in it.
Yep, completely agree. Moving to number 10, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Mansour Delane from LSU, 6 foot, 187-pound cornerback, coming off of a season with 11 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 45 tackles. And the NFL comp is Travarius Ward.
Okay. I think they have to. I mean, I've heard rumors they might go Sadiq here or a receiver. Bro,
if there is anything that they've proved is that guy needs no more people on offense to be able to win games. Help him stop people.
Gosh.
It is infuriating to watch them give up 50 and score 50 and lose. What are we doing?
It's wild because what made the Bengals that year they made the Super Bowl run, Jesse Bates was on that team. They had the linebacker, was it Logan Wilson?
Yep.
Was it? It might have been. But they had a defense that could help make plays to go with Joe being clutch with Jamar. And so please, please, please go defense. Delane kid, everyone's saying is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's physical, fine. Man coverage. That's what you need to have a shot to 100%. Win that division, get in. If you can get in unscathed, you've got a shot against anyone with Burrow quarterback. Next pick, the Miami Dolphins. I know you're huge on the offseason plans. They seem really concise and very focused on what they're doing. I'm just kidding. But we've got them selecting Carnell Tate, number 11 overall from Ohio State, 6'2", 192-pound receiver, coming off a season with 51 catches, 875 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. And the NFL comp is Chris Godwin.
Ooh. And again, he didn't tell me this. I don't love that because Godwin, I think he holds the record for receptions in a game. To me, Carnell made his most noise on explosive big plays. Was he a possession guy? Like, I don't remember him really being a super possession-y receiver. He might be. I mean, that might be what he turns out to be. But my recollection of him is more down the field explosion, and Godwin worked a lot more underneath. With the Dolphins specifically, again, a lot of noise on this podcast from my end of what the frick are you doing? Like, be bad. I don't hate this pick, especially because they have 2 first-round picks. They have Malik Willis. They've gotten rid of a lot. In this mock, we've already gotten rid of multiple offensive linemen. Some of your best defensive guys are gone. So get Carnell, stash him, and again, still be bad, hopefully. Hopefully for the Dolphins, they have the number 1 pick next year. Like, that is, and again, it stinks for Malik Willis, but they signed him and then got rid of all the players.
So
yeah, he got $50 million. So
yeah, I'll take it. Give me that deal and a horrible team. Yeah, Carnell Tate, I do think he has strong hands. He's a decent route runner.
I'm also a little – he did get scared when Jacoby Thomas was coming to lay that man out in the fourth quarter of the Miami Ohio State
I know
game.
we have personal biases across the board with a lot of these guys.
So. That man seemed like he was a little nervous trying to get that little 10-yard hook route. So
fair enough. Moving to pick number 12, we've got Dallas selecting Jermon McCoy out of Tennessee, 6'1", 188-pound cornerback. Did not play last year due to an ACL tear in January, but 2024 had 44 tackles, 7 PBUs, and 4 interceptions. And the NFL comp is Trayvon Diggs. Another guy that I think is very instinctive in zone, quick feet, thrives on creating turnovers. obviously playing in the SEC, elite ball skills. Seems like a pretty NFL ready prospect at the position.
Again, another team, the Dallas and Cincinnati, pretty interchangeable. Got to go defense here. I mean, they
Completely
have
agree.
just have to go defense. So whatever the best available defensive player is, they have a couple with Bland and Diggs. They have some high end. I don't know. Is Trayvon still there? Did Trayvon? I think he might have went somewhere else. Not the most up to date.
We'll double check that.
My Cowboys knowledge again. Big Jets guy here, and so just go defense. McCoy is touted as a can't miss cornerback. Can't go wrong. Trying to shut. They've signed a lot of interior defensive linemen and linebackers, and so I just think shore up that defensive front or the defensive secondary, and yeah, I like the pick for them.
Got it. Yeah, Trayvon with the Packers last year, but was released by them, so we'll see where he ends up. Yeah, and then another point, like the reason we didn't mock some of these next guys coming up is like you clearly don't want an elite edge part of the defense. So next pick we have.
No one's gonna.
LA Rams.
Everyone's thinking they're going offense. We said defense.
By way of the Falcons, we have Akeem Mesidor out of Miami, 6'3", 280 pounds, coming off of a year. This is one of the guys we referenced earlier where I said there were some guys that outproduced Spain on that defense. Mesidor had incredible production throughout the entire season. Obviously was not the focus of the media late. He was not the media darling that Bain was. But coming off a year, he had 12.5 sacks, 10 TFLs, and 4 forced fumbles. NFL comp was tough. I did comp him to an interior guy, but just impact alone, I went Christian Wilkins.
Okay. A lot of people have the Rams going Mekhi Lemon here. Here's my thing. They are one of the ultimate win now teams. Win now is you want the highest level of productions in the key positions on your football team. They have their quarterback. You cannot have enough edge rushers. Look at Philadelphia. Look at Seattle. Look at Kansas City when they were coming off the edges with Mahomes. Adding Mesidor to this team, a guy who's 25 years old, going to be productive in the NFL, not an injury risk. This guy is going to help. People are saying, oh, Mekhi Lemon will help them. They don't need Lemon. They have McVay. McVay's made it work with everybody. Stafford's made it work with everybody. Go the second most important position in football, the guy who rushes the most important position in football, and go after a Super Bowl this year. I am 100% they should go. If a top D end is available, take him. They are a win now team that is going to be a luxury position. They got 2 corners that they traded for, McDuffie, and they got Watson. They got Fisk still there. They got who's the other?
Jared Verse still there.
You're telling me that defense is not going to be elite?
Yep.
With Stafford with an elite defense is going to be better than Stafford with an elite offense and a good defense.
Yeah, completely agree. I think you've got to go defense here if you're trying to take
But people are saying they're going offense.
Listen, if there's any system in the NFL, any coach in the NFL who can take a guy in the 3rd or 4th round of receiver and make him a
Puka
star,
Nacua himself.
This is the unit. So,
and people are saying, "Oh, Puka's in rehab and Devontae's old." I don't care. It's the NFL. James Pierce, we don't agree. Whatever, personal, but that man might play. So,
and to put it this way, right? The more elite guys from a rushing standpoint that you have, that you can put on the field at the same time, that you can dictate who's getting a one-on-one matchup, who's not going to lose a one-on-one matchup. And if you look at last year, they didn't lose because Stafford couldn't score the football.
Yes, and ask Drake May what affected them the most in the Super Bowl.
Yep. So, Akeem Mesidor, number 13 to the Rams. Next pick we have here for your Baltimore Ravens to help Lamar Jackson out. We've got him selecting Colton Hood from Tennessee, their other corner, 6 foot, 193 pounds. Coming off a season with 8 pass breakups, 1 interception, 50 tackles. NFL comp is Terrion Arnold.
Lamar's won MVPs with the amount of guys that's on that team. Derrick Henry's still going to be good. They got Trey Hendrickson. I think that you help Jesse Minter coming over, give him another solid DB, let it ride.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still take Max Crosby, but that's beside the point. Colton Hood, physical press corner, fluid hips. Very competitive at the catch point. Man-to-man coverage is where he thrives. You're going to need some of that in that division to be able to survive that and make the run that you want to make while you still have Lamar and King Henry in the backfield. So Baltimore goes cornerback from Tennessee. Pick number 15, we've got Tampa Bay selecting Monroe Freeling out of Georgia, 6'7", 315 pounds, offensive lineman. NFL comp Colton Miller, 2025 stats, 12 pressures allowed. He's long, fluid, very easy mover in pass protection, excels versus speed rush guys, big enough, I think, to anchor down when you got some guys trying to go through your chest. Upside is tied to how strong he can get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of the upside typically with offensive line in the NFL. But obviously you got the frame for it. So if you can pack on some muscle and really excel there.
Again, unanimous mocks pretty much have Akeem Mesidor landing here. This is not predictions. This is Brandon and I saying what we think they should draft. We both landed on they should go O-line. The defense is old, 100%. But I do trust Todd Bowles to have a good defense regardless of what's happening. You got to protect Baker. You got to protect those assets that you've gotten with Buka, with Bucky Irving, Baker, a older Godwin. And so you will not hurt adding to your offensive line. Again, protection will bring production. I like that, bro. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, and that's also been the formula with Tampa Bay. I mean, outside of Brady, is
put him with
Baker long enough to give him a shot.
Put Freeling alongside Wirtz, and you have two stalwart tackles.
Yeah.
And you're good.
Good with it. Pick
last
number
one.
16. Yeah, this will be the last pick for this episode here. We've got the Jets next pick. Mekhi Lemon out of USC. 5'11", 195 pounds. Coming off a year that he had 1,156 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns. NFL comp Garrett Wilson. Explosive separator, elite short area quickness, dangerous after the catch, dynamic slot, which is why I think a lot of people are mocking him to the Rams because they think we'll just fill him in as the third person. But this gives the Jets another high ceiling player in the first round.
And hopefully
with how bad you are, I don't really know.
They also just want to lose a lot. Next year, if they have Bain and Lemon and they're drafting top 3, I do think that they're happy because they will have solid players to draft Arch Manning, whoever else.
Yeah, so, DJ Lagway.
Darian Mensah coming off of an undefeated Heisman Trophy winning season for the Miami Hurricanes. So,
well, he's a junior, right?
He can come back.
We'll pay him $40 million to come back.
No, but Miami just signed the number 2 quarterback in the 27 class.
Well, he'll sit again. He'll sit another year.
That's
you like the comp being the guy currently on the roster? They drafted the same guy?
I did think about that when we were doing it, but I'm like, they need weapons. So
yeah.
I like it. That's the first half. Again, we'll hit people with that second half of the mock coming up.
Yes, sir.
Drop that beat, bro.